Welcome to GatorZone.com. I'm Chris Harry alongside Scott Carter. We're in the Heavener Complex at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, but Saturday at noon we'll be in Knoxville where the Florida Gators will take on the Tennessee Volunteers in a key Southeastern Conference East Division game. The Gators are coming off a game in Alabama where they just didn't look very good, whereas Tennessee is coming off a game where they really played Georgia on the road at Athens down the stretch in a very, very competitive game. The SEC East, Scott, is wide open. How's this game shaking out right now?
You know, it reminds me a little bit, Chris, of 2012 when the Gators went up there. The buzz was that was an improved Tennessee team like it is around this one. And, Florida went in there and had a really good game, won 37-20. And in retrospect, it may have been Jeff Driscoll's finest performance as Gators quarterback. And, with the, storyline going into this one, he could use another one of those performances. As you said, the offense did struggle up in Alabama, only got 200 yards. A lot different performance than we'd seen the first two games from this offense. And they're hoping to get back on track against a Tennessee team that is improved, but I think Florida has some opportunity to move the ball there. I mean, Tennessee's offense has shown a lot of improvement. Defense is still kind of out there. So if the Gators can move the ball up in Tennessee, in front of obviously more than 100,000 fans, I think they'll have a chance in this one.
Florida gave up more than 660 yards at Alabama a couple weeks ago. DJ Durkin, Will Muschamp have said there are probably going to be some changes on the back end of that defense in the secondary. What do you see going on there?
Well, one thing I know they're going to change are some of the hand signals that they've done. I mean, there was a couple of obvious busted coverages at Alabama, which cost the Gators. And, with the offense struggling, I mean, they can't just give up those free plays on defense. And they got to get those corrections, because if you watch the Georgia-Tennessee game last week, one thing the Vols quarterback, Justin Worley, did do, he was really good in the passing game, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they exposed the middle of the Georgia defense, and that's an area that Florida's going to have to play tight there. And probably some personnel changes, too. Maybe we'll see a guy like Duke Dawson, Marcel Harris at safety, maybe shift around the corners, Jalen Tabor and Quincy Wilson, 2 true freshmen. Maybe they'll get into the lineup more this week. But I do expect some changes personnel-wise, and certainly hand signals, as DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator, talked about yesterday.
Flip it over to the offensive side. A lot of Florida fans are wondering if there's going to be any changes that impact Jeff Driscoll, who has certainly struggled at Alabama, just 9 for 28 for 90 yards. On that side, we're not going to see anything different at the quarterback position, are we?
No, I mean, from what Will Muschamp and Kurt Roper said this week, they're sticking with Driscoll. They feel that he's the guy that gives them the best chance to win. And, he had a bad game against Alabama. There's no other way to say that. The offense, as an entire offense did, they're going to have to play better on that Saturday up in Tennessee. And, they've done some things. I think maybe we'll see more of that up-tempo that we saw against Eastern Michigan and Kentucky. They're going to have to get back to that and, get the running game involved. Matt Jones and Kevin Taylor have been good with the opportunities, but they're going to have a complete offense performance and put some things together that they weren't able to at Alabama to continue this. They've won 9 in a row against the Vols. They're hoping to make it 10, but the offense is going to have to help make that happen.
We'll know a lot more where the Gators sit relative to the Southeastern Conference East Division after this game. It's a huge weekend in the SEC all across the board. We'll see how it all shakes out. We'll be here next week, talk about the Florida LSU game right here in the Swamp. For Scott Carter, I'm Chris Harry in GatorZone.com. Thanks for watching.